Hola, hola. How we doing? Hey, YouTube. We're back on the corporation platform, and it's because a legend just left this planet. Roberta Flack, incredible, hugely beloved singer, passed away this Monday at 88 years old, and I am here to share my favorite songs by this legend and tell you a little bit about her, especially for the youths who may not be familiar with one of the greatest singers to ever grace this planet. I can guarantee, to quote, you know who, she is your favorite singer's favorite singer. So, first of all, what the hell am I doing back on YouTube? I am usually on my Patreon these days, but I do like to stop by here sometime and visit and do some mini shows and show you what I'm doing over on Mixcloud on DJ Bruja Radio. And on YouTube here, I'm mostly posting my DJ streams and every so often talk about my favorite artists. I just did last year I did Oasis, Chappell Roan. So figured I should be honoring Ms. Roberta Flack because she's a legend that was so big in the 70s and 80s. And I feel like a lot of these legends tend to get forgotten these days because there's so much good music out there, but there would be no Whitney, Lauryn, anybody that you love, they all loved Roberta Flack for a reason. So we're going to talk about her today, and I'm going to play you some of my favorites. And if you want me to keep coming back to YouTube, please send support, questions, comments to DJ Bruja at Streamlabs or Venmo. So, who was Roberta Flack? First of all, you all know who Lauryn Hill is. And you know this song that's playing right now because the Fugees covered this song from 1973, Killing Me Softly with a Song. They covered it in 1996 and they brought this breakup ballad back to a new generation. Amazing cover, probably one of the best covers ever. And Lauryn Hill, because of this connection, she ended up posting a tribute to this legend on her Instagram that I want to share with y'all. Let me get the graphics going. So Lauren wrote, Whitney Houston once said to me that Roberta Flack's voice was one of the purest voices she'd ever heard. I grew up scouring the records my parents collected. Miss Flack was one of their favorites and quite instantly became one of mine as soon as I was exposed to her. She looked cool and intelligent, gentle, and yet militant. The songs she recorded, from Compared to What, to The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, to her version of Ballad of the Sad Young Men, fascinated me with their beauty and sophistication. Mrs. Flack was an artist, a singer songwriter, a pianist and composer who moved me and showed me through her own creative choices and standards what else was possible within the idiom of soul. Killing Me Softly, a song Mrs. Flack didn't write but made hugely popular, became the song that catapulted myself and the Fugees into household phenomena. We wanted to honor the beauty and brilliance of the song and her performance of it to our generation. I will be forever grateful for the sensitivity and delicate power of her love and artistry. Rest in grace, beloved one. Beautiful tribute. And that's how much she impacted the people we consider legends, right? I grew up with Lauryn Hill in the late 90s. I was a teenager, obsessed with her album Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And she grew up just like myself with our parents playing Roberta Flack. I have my mother to thank for incessantly playing Roberta Flack when I was a kid. Like back to back, the same songs over and over again. And guess what? I did not complain. I complained about other songs, but not Roberta Flack because her voice is just like no other. That's why, probably why Lauren started that tribute to her, saying Whitney Houston's the one that told me Roberta Flack was one of the purest voices. Whitney Houston, another incredible pure voice we lost. So that's how much these alien goddesses that have graced our planet, like that's how much they loved her. So Roberta was not just an amazing singer and pianist. Her mother was actually a church organist, and Roberta ended up being quite a virtuoso when she was a kid. She was playing Chopin and any composer you can think of, and she loved it. And she, I guess, would talk about how it made her feel like she was connected to God, which, you know, whatever your spiritual beliefs, like that's what music does for a lot of us is, you know, it connects us to something greater than. So she was an amazing singer, pianist, composer. And she was also, because she was such a virtuoso when it came to the piano, that's probably why she became such a genre blending phenomenon. And that includes genres like R&B, jazz, folk, pop. She ended up contributing to the birth of Quiet Storm. And for those of you that don't know, Quiet Storm came up in the 70s as a radio format and subgenre of R&B. It was basically smooth, romantic jazz influenced R&B, and it was hugely popular all the way to the 80s until the golden age of hip hop. So Roberta Flack's commercial success was enormous after that, and it included several Billboard Hot 100 chart topping singles. She also became the first artist to win the Grammy Award for Record of the Year in consecutive years. And I want to show you what I'm talking about right here. As you can see, she owned the Grammys in the 70s. Back to back, she was nominated and she also won back to back. Of course, in 1974, she won for Killing Me Softly with his song, both Record of the Year and Best Pop Vocal Performance for Female, which I think at this point they should just change that, but that's another story. It's like the best actor categories. But my point is that before she won for Killing Me Softly with his song, which was, of course, the song I just played that the Fugees covered and became her biggest hit, there was a lot of hits before and after that, and that's what we're here for today. As you can see, the first Grammy she won was The First Time I Ever I Saw Your Face, and that's the next song we're going to hear. So this song was covered by everybody from Peter, Paul, Mary to Elvis. And Clint Eastwood, for my movie nerds out there, he was driving on the freeway when he first heard Roberta's cover, and he had to get off the freeway and stop because he was so damn hypnotized. And he ended up choosing it for the soundtrack of his directorial debut, Play Misty for Me. It was used in a love scene between Clint and Donna Mills. Enjoy.
The first time ever I saw your face, I thought the sun rose in your eyes. first time
Hypnotizing voice. Hypnotized Clint
ever
Eastwood
I
to stop driving on the freeway and use it in his movie. Because it was used
felt the
in Play Misty for Me, it became the biggest hit of the year for 1972. It spent 6 consecutive weeks at #1 and earned Roberta Flack a million-selling gold disc. And as I showed you, her first Grammy for Record of the Year. And as I see in the chat, I would like to confirm that yes, many of you heard this song on an X-Men movie. It, Days of Future Past, that's right. One of the few Marvel movies I really like. When Logan wakes up in the 80s, they keep playing this song. And I was very happy about that because I was like, love seeing Roberta Flack in a modern movie. So it's crazy just listening to this, how beautiful her voice sounds with very minimal instruments. I don't think a lot of people can do that nowadays. It's just beautiful. It's crazy.
so close to mine, and I knew
I mean,
our joy
earned her the first Grammy for Record of the Year. And speaking of the Grammys, I have a nice photo to show you all. This was actually taken at the Grammys in the 70s. And that is a photo of Roberta Flack herself with some other legends you may recognize, like David Bowie, Yoko Ono, and John Lennon. In fact, Roberta Flack, John and Yoko ended up being neighbors. So this is something cute, that really sweet, that Sean Lennon said. That's John Lennon's son. Because Roberta was apparently the first black woman that moved into the Dakota building in New York, where John Lennon lived. And they were literal next door neighbors. And John Lennon's son, Sean, said, I was very blessed that I grew up with the coolest neighbor in the world. We used to call her Aunt Roberta, and we were very close. He said that she encouraged him to play the guitar, and that she and Yoko became very good friends, especially after John Lennon was shot and killed outside the building in December 1980. Sean says they understood each other because they were both incredibly powerful women. My mom, she'd be in the studio producing my dad's records, and people don't really think about that. They imagine this sort of quiet girlfriend, but my mom is often a dominating force in the room, and I think Roberta was just like that. They both dealt with that kind of sexism, but it's something that they overcame, and they were tough. So just to show you what was the vibes in the 80s and in the 70s, Roberta was a queen. And what you're listening to right now is her with a king, because she did a lot of duets with Mr. Donny Hathaway. This is Where Is the Love? I love this song.
Change of heart. I wish that you would tell me so. Don't leave me hanging on to promises. You've got to let me know.
That's just Good Vibes Only music. That's what they recorded. So she recorded so many duets with Donny Hathaway. They met at Howard University. They were both huge music nerds. And they recorded 2 LPs all the way until his unfortunate, very sudden death in 1979. Roberta Flack was obviously devastated after his death, and she ended up releasing their final LP as Roberta Flack featuring Donny Hathaway. And two of the songs they recorded became million-selling gold singles, like this song particularly that we're listening to, Where's the Love? One of my favorites. And later, this was in 1972, then later in 1978, they recorded this song called The Closer I Get to You.
The closer I get to you, the more you make me see, like giving me all you got. Your love has captured me.
Over and over again, I try to tell myself that we could never be more than friends. And all the while inside, I knew it was real, the way you make me feel.
I mean, that is honey. Like, there's a thing about voices with honey. Both of them, goddamn. If I ever feel shitty, I just play Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway. And the thing is that they had some amazing pop hits, love songs specifically, because we know those do very well in the charts. But even though Roberta Flack had many great pop hits and more duets with other artists like Donny Hathaway, she also performed a super famous duet with Pee Wee Bryson of Disney fame, back when Disney had good music. I might play that later, depending on how long this show goes. If you want it to keep going, remember, you can always donate to Streamlabs or Venmo at DJ Bruja. But even though she had many great pop hits, I also want to note that her musical virtuosity was inseparable from her commitment to civil rights. She actually wasn't just friends with a Beatle. She was also friends with activists like Jesse Jackson, Angela Davis, and Maya Angelou, the poet. And if I can recommend one album to listen to, of course, all of these hits are so good and they're like sweet honey to your ears. And I'll be playing my favorite of hers at the end of the show. But there's this album she made in 1969 called First Take that I highly recommend because it really shows you who she was before she became this huge pop singer. And in the album First Take, she covers everybody from Leonard Cohen to a song in Spanish called Angelitos Negros. As I mentioned, she was friends with people like Jesse Jackson and Angela Davis. And then there's also this great song in the album that was written by Gene McDaniels, and that's one of the songs that Lauryn Hill mentioned in her tribute. So I want to play you that song. And this song is called Compared to What? And it's a great song about what living in America was like before Black Lives Matter became a hashtag.
I said I love the lie, the love, hanging on with push and shove. Possession is the motivation, hanging up the whole damn nation. Looks like we always end up in a rut, trying to make it real. But compared to what? Slaughterhouse is killing hogs. Twisted children are killing frogs. Poor dumb rednecks rolling logs. Tired old ladies are kissing dogs. And I hate that human love, that stinking mud, trying to make it real. But compared to what?
She's about to sing about the war right here.
Said the president, he's got his war. Folks don't know just what it's for. No one gives us rhyme or reason. You have one doubt, they call it treason. I said we're chicken.
What a line. Have one doubt, they call it treason. So clearly, Gene McDaniels, the lyricist, was writing against the Vietnam War. This song was also written during the second wave feminist movement before abortion rights. And in 1976, this very popular American music critic, B. Lee Cooper, said the following of this song: of social criticism, attacked a variety of social practices as being based on hypocritically unreal values, and contrasted the social myth of equality and the economic reality of poverty in the stratified American society. So this album that I'm talking about, First Take, compared to what the song I'm playing for you right now, it's the first track on the entire album. It's quite a beginning song to showcase everything Roberta was about. But the entire song is full of not just a criticism of American society, but also she was uplifting all kinds of minorities. In fact, there was this other song on the album that I'm going to play, and it's called The Ballad of the Sad Young Men. And the song became popular within the gay bar community. In concerts, in fact, she would say this song is about gay men. It's a beautiful song, again, that she covered. Here's the ballad of the to where we are today. So that's why this woman is so legendary. It's not just the fact that she was a virtuoso musically, and she had an amazing voice, and she was an amazing pianist and composer, but the stuff she was singing about was so beautiful and important. She wasn't just singing sweet love and pop songs. So that's why I love her, and that's why she's so beloved by so many people. So moving on from the sad but beautiful music that's I consider to be revolutionary, I want to play y'all my favorite song by Roberta Flack. That's a pop song, and it's from her 1974 album Feel Like Making Love. And you'll probably heard this already because I'm pretty sure I played it on my Neo Soul episode, because I just immediately took the opportunity to play the song, so here it is.
Strolling in the park, watching winter turn to spring. Walking in the dark, seeing lovers do their thing. Ooh, that's the time I feel like making love to you. That's the time I feel like making dreams come true. Oh baby, when you talk to me, when you're moaning sweet and low, when you're touching me and my feelings start to show,
See, she covers all the vibes. She covers the sad, revolutionary vibes, and then the sexy vibes. That's what all artists should strive for. And certainly, as Sam said, the voice is like honey. The greatest honey voice to ever live, in my opinion. Because she was so effortless, too. Like, she made it sound so easy. She didn't do her little, no shade to the Mariah Careys of the world. Still love Mariah, but just kept in one tone. No vibrato. Still excellent. So, I've shown you most of my favorites of hers. Feel free, by the way, if I haven't played one of your favorites, let me know, because I am going to get out of here soon. But I do see some Streamlabs. Thank you, Mike, for donating. Mike says, Roberta has such a lovely voice. I can't believe she wasn't on my radar before I heard her on your awesome Mixcloud show. I've been making my way through her discography since she died, and I am been mesmerized by her music. I love hearing that, Mike. That's the thing about when these legends go away. Sometimes they're forgotten in the present, and then you dive into their discography and you're like, holy shit. It's crazy how much amazing stuff she did. So before we get out of here, this is a cover. Roberta did many covers, and this is a cover on her Quiet Fire album. Probably already recognizing it. It is Bridge Over Troubled Water. And I want to play you a little bit of the end so you can just be completely mesmerized by her voice. So let's get to that part right now. If you don't have goosebumps, you are not alive. Please check for body awareness. I see some wows in the live chat. Isn't that crazy? One of the most gorgeous voice. So grateful that she existed, and highly recommend y'all check her out, because I know many of you only know a couple of her hits, and she is much more than just Killing Me Softly with his song, even though that's a great song. There's so much Roberta Flack out there for everybody to enjoy, so her spirit can remain on this dimension as well. And may she be resting in whatever other dimension she is. I hope she's with Bowie and Prince, and that we can all come hang out there sometime. So thanks for hanging out, everybody. Just doing a mini show here for the YouTubers, so you can see what I'm doing elsewhere. If you want to come hang out on my Patreon, We got the coolest community on the internet. It's patreon.com/DJ Bruja. All kinds of budgets, all kinds of tiers from $5 and up. You can join the Discord. We got watch-alongs. We got listening parties. We are doing an Oscar watch-along this Sunday. It's going to be fun because Conan is fortunately hosting. But I'm also on Mixcloud every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I will be on Tuesday, at least for the month of March, because it's the season finale of season 2 of DJ Bruja Radio. I am over on Mixcloud.com/DJ Bruja Radio, and I am doing all kinds of genres. Next week, I'm doing Baroque Pop. I just did New Disco, a full DJ set that will be coming to YouTube this Friday. So come hang out with me. Would love to see you. And thanks for hanging out. Los amo. Take care of yourselves. Adios.